In today's video, we will show you how to make homemade samosa recipe. So, because this samosa is a Tanzanian style of making samosa, I'd like to say jumbo to the people of Tanzania and to the people of Kenya as well, and it's coming up. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video at the start, that this is a African style way of making the samosa. So when you go to India and Pakistan, where my grandparents were from, the samosas tend to be more thick, but this style is much more smaller and it's much more crispier as well, as a result of the layers being thinner. So I prefer this personally, and my family prefers this style because of the crispy element of it, and it just tastes a little different as well, but in a very good way. So let me try this out. Nothing beats this. This is every Ramadan. This is a snack which is abundant everywhere, and it circulates all across our neighborhood. Even though where we live in London, we have a lot of people from our own community, and this is circulating everywhere. We try to obviously eat as healthy as possible. That's what our family endorses. But it's one of those snacks which is mandatory during this month of Ramadan. So let me just put some lemon on it, because it's what enhances the flavor. Very crispy so far. And because my parents, both my parents are from East Africa. My dad's from Kenya, mom's from Tanzania. So even the pastry itself is homemade. And you know, they say homemade stuff, you know, there's nothing to beat it. Wow, that is insane. Wow. It's like you're driving a car and you're putting forward the gears. You put that lemon in there into the minced meat which is inside. Oh my god, that is absolutely superb. So this particular samosa we made with chicken mince, which is healthier, but obviously you can also make this with lamb mince as well, using the same recipe, but it's absolutely superb. It is definitely one of my favorite snacks. If I had to say that top 5 snacks, it has to be in there. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with that. But as I said, this is an African style of making it. The thin, crispy, with this type of pastry used, rather than a much more thicker, much more bigger, and it's got more chunkier mince inside. This is much more thin in terms of even the mince which is inside, that is found inside. And having this with the lemon, that crispy element, you just dig in. Like, seriously, I'm not someone who eats massive amounts of food, but there's a few dishes, there's a few snacks, there's a few foods out there that it makes me go overboard with them. Like, if it's just there, I will just eat as many as possible. So samosa is one of them. Definitely worth a try. So this is how my mom makes it, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before. My parents used to run a restaurant back in the early 90s, and this style of samosa became very famous long before the restaurant. A lot of people are always raving about their food. They're raving about the style in which they cook it. There's obviously a tremendous amount of love. We also believe that we're energy beings, so we transcend that love into the food, and that's what my parents are able to do. But not just that, the technique that they use, the style that they have, it's second to none. There are some people who say we would like to have like 100 of these, 200 of these, 1,000 of this if possible. And I remember once one of my cousins said that, you know, the way you make it, you know, we would have to take your hands with us abroad in order to be able to make this, because even though you've shown us the recipe, we haven't been able to make it. But I would encourage all of you guys to try it, because it's our top 5. And shout out going to my nephew Adjan, because you love these. We are going to make 1 million for you, because last time you requested that we make 1 million for you. Okay.